Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles show in West Hollywood. I'm here with Brooke and Doug Purdy and Jen Prince with their movie Quality Problems. Let's take a look at a clip.
Huh?
Hey!
Today's the day that you listen! You don't get to treat people like crap anymore!
Ma'am? Excuse me!
What?
Are you all right? Wait, do you need anything?
No, Mr. Helper, I'm not actually all right. I happen to have cancer. Again, cancer! Look at it. I'm fine.
Congratulations on your movie. Thank you. Honestly, it was one of the most joyous experiences I've ever had watching a feature film, and I want everybody to see it. But for those that haven't had a chance to see it, tell us a brief synopsis of the film.
You do it. You're the writer.
It is a film about a family dealing with everyday family problems like you do, jobs and kids and juggling the grind, but they also receive a breast cancer diagnosis, and they have to kind of mesh it into their whole family rhythm, and it's how they deal with it with humor, and they're just a twisted lot, all of them, but in the best way. They have to, one of the main things is they have to get through this, and they also have to try and plan an 8-year-old daughter's birthday party in the midst of it. Yes. Yep. And so the challenges that come along with meeting both of those, but it's in essence it's a comedy about cancer.
There you go. That's
throw in a little
it.
bit of Alzheimer's in there.
And just we didn't have enough. We had so that too, but it's really just a family dealing with family issues like all families do, and just some of them happen to be jacked up a little bit. So.
I fell in love with the family and all of the characters in there like instantaneously, and it's absolutely miraculous how you can take a subject that we've all somewhat either faced ourselves or know someone close to us that's faced, and to turn it into this just a family dealing with these problems amongst all the family problems that you have. But you have something really incredibly special that you did, because this inspiration behind this story, you could have taken this one way, but you took it another way. And the fact that both Brooke and Doug play the lead characters with their children, Maxwell and Scout as well, which is phenomenal. You're all extremely talented family. But tell us a little bit about how you were inspired to create this story together.
Well, it is, so the story in itself is, it started way back when, before anything happened. I have been writing forever. I went to college, I went to NYU, been writing scripts, and I wrote a script about a family that was, kind of similar to ours at the time. And Doug read it. He's my first beta reader of everything. And he said it's good, but it needs something. And so,
Which is always a tough thing to.
Yes,
you always want to bring that right to your wife.
Yeah, good luck. You're still together, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, he survived. So, cut to 2008, and first routine mammogram, was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that was the little something more that went into the script. So it's a fictionalized account of real events. So it's kind of, it was, I brought in a lot of what we went through, including when it happened. We were so dumbfounded by something so intense that I just said, film it. Just film everything that we go through. Film the doctor's appointments, film our discussions with the kids, film everything, because I just had to find some way to put a spin on it to empower us, so it wasn't so so we weren't just victims of, so we actually incorporated that footage into the film as, as a storyline. So you see flashbacks because in the film, the mom is dealing with, this is a recurrence. It's the second time it's coming up, which happens. So there were flashbacks from the first time that were actual, our kids were babies when
Yeah.
it happened. So, did that answer your
Yeah,
question?
no, you totally did. You really did. It's just amazing. You know, for you, Doug, as well. Obviously, your husband, your father, and then going through as a family. How did you feel about filming and documenting, this experience, together?
It was, well, the original footage, the stuff that we shot actually when she was dealing with it, it was, I was just like, as a guy, you just want to be able to fix everything, you know, and you can't. So you just, what do you need? What do you need? And, we were talking about filming, and we just like, if I can't fix her, at least I want to make her laugh, So we were just like, we would be in the hospital, and the doctors thought we were insane because we were always laughing. And then one of the doctors said, "You guys do cancer well." Like she had to go this one horrible thing, it'd be kind of demeaning where they have to take pictures of her before the reconstruction, topless. And so while they're taking the pictures, I started throwing dollar bills at her. And
this tiny room, and thank God my plastic surgeon had a sense of humor and was already broken in to us. Like either you're on board right away or you're requesting someone else to come in. So thank God we're in this tiny room with him, and he's trying to just get some shots of the before pictures so he can reconstruct well. And Doug is in the corner, just shake it, and he's throwing up crumpled dollar bills at me, and I'm dying, and I'm just trying to get one or two usable shots for him.
Oh my goodness.
So it was just, that's kind of our baseline for how we...
I think it's incredible. I think honestly, I really, really do. Jen, when you got involved, or how did you get involved to be part of this project, and what were your feelings in creating this film?
Well, I was friends with Brooke and Doug prior. We had been looking for something we could maybe collaborate on when Brooke brought me the script and said, "Do you think this is producible on an independent level?" Doug and Brooke's idea of what that was in the backyard was a little bit sweet. With,
we were like little rascals, like put on a movie in the barn.
It's a bigger movie than what they were conceiving at first, but I was obviously inspired by my friendship with them first, knowing what amazing people they are on Max and Scout. Our kids grow up together. And I fell in love with the quality of the writing. And, what I love about the film probably most, and what was, for me, creatively the most challenging, is keeping that tone even. It goes back and forth, so I think successfully, between comedy and drama, which is my favorite type of story to tell. It's the most authentic, I think. So I brought on a producer that I've worked with on a lot of things. We met in film school, and she didn't know the family, but again, she fell in love with everybody, and we decided to see if we could crowdfund and make it happen. And that's how it began. And so it was a combination of being, a personal thing and a professional thing. And then once I got on set, I have to say, the first weekend, we shot, I think, the dancing and the bandage scene, which when you see the film, you'll see those are two of the more remarkable scenes.
Brilliant.
And we just started the shoot with that. And I remember standing on their front porch trying to collect myself, going, "Oh, this is really something I'm going to be proud of in a way I didn't anticipate." It kind of caught me, So that was the genesis of then me being even re-inspired to take it to the next level.
What I loved is that there was so many, I felt the whole experience of watching your film was so real, so connected. I literally felt like I was in this sort of bird's eye view or invisible person in your family, going through this with you, and just your incredible comedic timing and with each other, and just the relationship, that shows on camera with your children as well. There's so many little magical moments in there. Obviously you had an idea of how it was going to, you obviously create the script and knew. What was it like, doing some of those scenes with each other, and certainly with your, real kids who are totally talented, Max and Scout, like really, really, really. What was that experience like? Because obviously this is a touching subject as well, and having them to kind of go through, even for Max to kind of relive what that was like. What was that feeling like?
I think one of the first things, like, we kind of, especially with the kids, we said, do you guys want to do this? You know?
Yeah.
Because we were going to get ahead of all this, and then we said, we didn't even ask them yet. And so we said, and they were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. You know?
Yeah.
So that helped a lot. But, yeah, a lot of the stuff was just, you know, because it's in, many of the scenes are inspired by actual events, like the scene between Brooke and Max.
Wasn't ready for that one. My goodness, wow.
Yeah, that was, and I wasn't there to witness that when it happened, that a similarity there, but Brooke wrote it as such, and we were worried, you know, Max has never acted before, and he took a look at it, and went, okay, like, do you want to look at it a little bit more? He's like, no, I think I got it. And then day of, he said, I don't want to do it. You kidding me?
Yeah.
So I said, I'm not forcing you to do this, but you said you would, and you got a group of people out there, so waiting on you. So can you muster? He was just scared, you know. Went in there and did it, one take, like 6 pages of dialogue, full tears, you know, just nailed it.
Wow.
It was an incredible moment too, because it was one of those days on set where it was 100 degrees in Burbank, in the house, air off,
Hot, yeah.
Blue light.
Yeah, the crew was, you know, the tension was palpable, and this was a crew that got along brilliantly. I mean, it was, but if there was going to be a day, that was the day. And then Max came in, and I mean, you could have heard the pin drop for sure. It was
one of the most beautiful, heartfelt scenes I've seen between you know, a parent and their child ever. Like, it was just so real, and just I had grown men cut to us, like, I really cried in that scene watching it last night, you know. And so, you know, it was just such an amazing moment. But I think a moment, what's so incredible about your bravery and your great your great comical value that you have and trying to bring light to it, is that how much your film resonates with so many people. You know, just fall in love with your characters and your family, and all the great additional incredible cast that you have, which we'll talk about as well. But just how there are so many people that go through this, either themselves or know someone close to them, and you've created an essence of therapy and guidance and laughter through this moment. I mean, how incredible does that feel?
Super incredible.
Yeah?
And she's a writer.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
It feels amazing. It feels amazing. And I was saying before the interview, like in screening and festivals and stuff like that, we've had lots of survivors and lots of loved ones come up to us afterwards, and it literally is the fuel that keeps us right size.
Yeah.
Like, of course we want a gigantic distribution deal for billions of dollars, and you know, and I get to wave my finger at every teacher that said I wouldn't amount to anything.
Exactly.
And blah, blah, blah.
There you go.
But at the end of the day, that keeps us right size, and it's like, and it's a reality check. Like, this is why we're doing it. And as a writer and a lover of film, done right. I just, at the end of the day, want to be moved.
Yeah.
And so the fact that, if nothing else, and you know, we've sent the link to the film to people going through chemo and dealing with loved ones and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I just want to be entertained, and if we're just delivering, you know, a good, solid hour plus of entertainment or you know, feel good moments, then we have done our job. And the fact that we get to kind of bring in other issues while doing that is certainly icing.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, well, firstly, you had some of the most incredible comical, like, cast in there. Like, I don't know where you found these people, but they were brilliant. Like, there's so many moments, everything from your best friends to the lady with a Purdy leg who was running into everybody. I mean, it was just like, I met her last night. She's fantastic.
That was something that she wrote, and we're like, and everyone was kind of like,
no one was on board.
I'm like, do it. And she was like, just trust me. I'm like, okay. And then like once, and even shooting it, I'm like, okay, it's funny. Once I saw it on screen, it just, Yeah.
And it kills
Just
everywhere.
trust your
Everywhere
writer.
we screen, people are in love with Melinda. They're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, who was the lady?
Who is this? Yeah.
Who's a well-known
Yeah.
comedian on her.
Yeah, no, I know.
She's-
We would. Yeah,
she's
she's
brilliant,
incredible. Yeah. And you had just an incredible cast. Like your best friend and your best friend as well. Like how did you come out bringing those all together?
Well, we all have been working for a long time with, in Los Angeles with actors after actors after actors that we have collected in our own lives that we are dying to find that perfect part for.
Yeah.
So when this film came along, we reached out to, almost everybody. There's a couple people maybe that we didn't know personally, but everybody else are actors that we've been, and mostly character actors that, we've picked out of our lives going, oh, here's the part, here's how we can bring them on board. And that made it even more special because and it also inspired kind of a new way for us to work where we're going, oh, if we're making our own projects, let's have kind of a rep feel where a repertory feel where, we keep bringing in these actors we love, that we've adored for years. And because, a lot of them were excited about the project. They were on board with, the low budget part of it, and we got very lucky. And some inspired performances for sure.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's also you get a shorthand with these people, and because you know them, there's no ego on set.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've been on sets where there are people that have huge egos, but in independent film, I don't think there's no time for that.
Yeah.
There's certainly no money for that. So, it's all hands on deck, and everyone's just so much fun and just got right into it.
Yeah.
And even some of the people that we didn't really know, but that were some well-known actors, were just incredible. Like once they kind of got an idea of what we're doing, like, oh, okay, and just everyone was equal.
Yeah.
It was just a blast.
There's so many wonderfully written moments. Like just so many that I absolutely love and adore. Just from just even the kids just putting their hands in this goo that I want to have a bowl of that myself. But just in those moments to the great comedic moments of your friend taking over the party and deciding to entertain the kids, and he's fantastic. Met him last night, and he's just a wonderful comedic actor. But it must be fantastic to have this amazing team of help you build this all together. And like last night, my goodness me, if ever I've seen a screening, had the most incredible support of people. It was like, I felt like I was at a Justin Bieber concert. It was that loud. It was incredible. What is it like after the journey that you've been on? This has been a long journey for you as a family and for you creating this film as well. What is it like to go through that journey and have your film at NewFilmmakers LA in front of an audience and to really feel and embrace what you've created? And not to mention as well what Brooke did last night, which was incredible, which was, she asked the audience to stand up if anyone who was suffering and going through cancer or anyone in their immediate family was going through cancer. And obviously there was a few people that stood up when they did, and then when there were people that were suffering from someone that they know immediate, it was pretty much the 3/4 to the whole audience that stood up.
Yeah.
Going through that journey of creating that film to that moment last night, what does that feel like for you guys to have that moment, because you really get to see what you've created?
Well, it's everything. I'm so much so you have little goals going through. At least for me, this journey has been about little goals, and so it's just get through this week of shooting and get through this scene and get through. So sometimes it's down to get through the next 5 minutes and like even the scene with Max, like it was so schizophrenic for me to have to do that with him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because there's 1,000 hats. I'm wearing the mom hat and a co-director hat and the writer hat and a supporting actor just trying to be available for him. And so you get through the little moments, and it's been a 2-year journey to get back to LA. And last night was like the culmination of so many little moments, and just kind of, as an independent filmmaker, just clawing your way through, trying to survive in a very odd landscape these days. It's no longer, you know, you make a film and it goes to Sundance and you get discovered, and it's so odd. It's saturated with film festivals, but there's a distinct few that are the middle that are still discovering, I feel, truly independent films. So last night, finally getting it back there, we've been excited for weeks. And so we're in this room, we're seeing all these people come in, but I finally settled, like, emotionally when the title came up and people started cheering, and I'm very leaky. Like, I cry at everything, so just brace for it. But the title came up and people started cheering, and it was like a gut punch. It was like everything. I felt like I finally, like, exhaled after so much, like, gutting it out.
Yeah.
And so it was good. I'm ending really well. I feel like I'm ending these questions really
I
strong.
think
you're doing great.
Yeah, I think what Brooke is also saying is it was interesting for me. Like at New Filmmakers last night, I kept on thinking, this reminds me of my wedding. You know, because we had so many people.
We aspire
from
to that, you know.
Our,
and it was a good
Yeah,
wedding.
you guys are like
It
a
was
sacrament,
good
okay? Because we had all these people from so many different aspects of our life, like, you know, I had friends from high school, from college, I had friends from junior high, friends of our family now, from school and sports, and, you know, and our film family, and like how everything just kind of culminated. My dad, who has never seen the film.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, that was I didn't know how big a deal that would have been.
Yeah.
And he was there. And so it really was just, emotional. Like going into it, I was kind of shut down. I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm scared shitless.
Yeah.
Because all these people know us so well, and you know they know your tells.
Yeah,
you know, like,
they know you. Yeah, they know
yeah,
you
they
before you
know
know
if-
yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
At somewhere else, a different audience, they don't know you, so you know, it's a little tougher. You're under more of a microscope, and the response was just wonderful. You know, and like, you know, even talking to my dad, you know, like at the end, he was like. He was really impressed with the whole thing, and that
always
meant a lot. Yeah.
That feels really good, doesn't it, when that happens? Well, what's delightful, it's not very often where you've seen a feature film, you're like, no, I want more. Please give me more from this family. Don't leave me. I don't want these credits. Where can we keep going? So what is next? What is next for you? I know you've got a few things to say. What's coming up, which is exciting.
Yeah, we just successfully crowdfunded for our next feature.
Fantastic.
We're getting the band back together and shooting in San Antonio, my hometown, in the summer of 2018.
Excellent.
It's a script called Miles Underwater, which Brooke and another co-producer who's also cast in Quality Problems,
Colette Friedman.
Colette Friedman.
Colette, yeah.
She and Brooke wrote the script, and we were inspired so much by Max Purdy that the lead role was written for him. So he's going to play Miles. Brooke and Doug will be in the cast again, so not as the same family
parents,
unit,
yeah.
totally
different,
completely different.
And Scouts in there is a totally different type of.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's a family film with a lot of heart again, and it has a little spiritual element to it. So it's a little different. We're excited, but it's got a lot of the creative people back together
that's
with
good.
some new people. So
Who's directing this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Yes.
Well, can't wait to see it, Jen. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean that's what's been lovely too, is that we have so many multifaceted creative people that have come together to do whatever job is appropriate for that project. So there was a lot of support for us to kind of shift around and try different roles, but still, you know, we all are just looking to make the best film we can. And,
oh, you will. You know, you've done a great job with Quality Problems, and I just, you know, again, I think you've got a great film. Your kids are so humble, by the way. Like, honestly, they're little stars of the shows, and they're like coming up and saying thank you so much for having me. I'm like, oh goodness, they're just wonderful, aren't they? Like, obviously got great role models, but no, you have a wonderful family, a wonderful filmmaking family. And honestly, I really believe that the world should see Quality Problems, and it will change you once you've seen it. You will feel adapted and altered, and you know, people will go out feeling and seeing the world differently. And that's the greatness that you've brought to us at New Filmmakers LA, but you know, also the wider audience as well. So congratulations on Quality Problems. Thank you very much for your vision, and we're looking forward to seeing the next project. So thank you.
Oh, goodness,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank
so much for helping us bring it home.
Oh, well, we couldn't do it without you. We couldn't even exist without you. So thank you. Thank you, guys.